Damn backlog. Why would a video game even need to eat? The whole concept of a video game backlog is the very definition of a first world problem. The fact that we have so many games we have accumulated over the years, be it physical or digital ones picked up during those ridiculously good Steam sales, that we just haven't had the time to get to or have procrastinated on playing them. As much as this may be ridiculed, it's an issue many gamers face, and I know it's one I've dealt with for many years. I'm quite the frugal gamer, always looking at ways to get games on the cheap, so I can admit that I have picked up way too many games, especially for the last 3 or so generations of consoles. It's actually quite ridiculous if you take a look at my collection, as I have dozens of sealed PS3, PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U games. Many I picked up through some obscure promotion, price matching mission, or through keeping a keen eye online. As a kid, this was never a problem, mainly due to the fact that I would get a new video game from my parents or sister every few months. I would play these games over and over and over again, usually completing them one too many times as that's all I had. I didn't know the amazing concept of disposable income. The appreciation I had for video games was much greater at the time because once a backlog started forming, it was taken for granted and my gaming passion became much more disposable. The real issue that arose was constantly fooling myself that I will get to these games one day, finally crossing them off my list. But let's be honest, where in the world will I get time to conquer this backlog while still keeping up to date on exciting brand new titles and the responsibilities of everyday life? It's not like movies where you can set 2 hours aside and knock out a classic you never had the chance to experience before. In general, video games are much longer experiences that need a number of sittings to complete. And things get even worse if you are completionists such as myself, as you might have to add extra hours to find every last collectible or secret. A little while back, I had created goals to slowly pick away at the backlog by playing one of these games even for as little as an hour a week. I had also cut back on grabbing new games, only getting titles I would actually play at that point, even if there was an unbelievable deal that I just couldn't pass up. But before I could even tackle my objectives, I came to the realization that creating a to-do list turns my gaming passion into a chore. And that is where I realized that there is no need to stress about my backlog. I might or might not get to some of these sealed games sitting on my shelf, but I'm still happy to have them in my collection. You see, I am more than just a gamer. I am a collector, a fan of the industry and culture, a connoisseur on the history of this fairly young entertainment medium. When gaming becomes a chore, then I would no longer want to deal with it, as I have enough real chores to deal with. So my final opinion on video game backlogs is most likely the popular opinion from non-gamers everywhere, and that is, who cares? Yes, it might suck to not get to play every game you wanted to play in your lifetime, but if that is the worst thing to happen to you, then consider yourself lucky. There's very little that I am more passionate about than video games. But in the end, they are still games, and we can only experience so much in our lifetimes. I plan to be gaming until I'm old and gray, but I refuse to be defined by my backlog. I'll play what I want, when I want. So that's my opinion on backlogs. Tell me what you think below and leave a like on the video, and please subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, game on.